You guys want to rest here?
Something feels odd here. Be on your guard.
I just noticed none of you other Dahnans have spirit cores. Why is that?
Both of my parents were part of the resistance in Calaglia. In fact, my birth was kept a secret from the Renans.
Mine too. We always lived in hiding, so I never had a spirit core embedded in me like I was supposed to.
What about you, Alphen? You were a slave in Calaglia before all this, weren't you?
To be completely honest, I'm not sure why I don't have one. All the other Dahnan slaves around me did. I was the only exception. They tended to keep their distance from me to avoid attracting any attention from the soldiers, because of my mask and all. What about you, Kisara? Do you still have your spirit core?
No. I was able to find a good Renan doctor who's sympathetic to our kind, and had them remove it before I left. They did such a great job, the procedure didn't even leave a scar.
One of the benefits of coexistence, huh?
I know that once the spirit vessel was shut down, there wasn't much need for me to hurry. But still, I didn't like having that mark of servitude lingering on me any longer than I had to. It may sound a little strange to hear me say this, but I'm just me now. Not a guardsman or a slave. I'm my own woman, and this is my chance to have a new beginning.
This sure is one rugged road. You'd think they'd keep this at least a little better maintained, right?
Why spend energy fixing that which is rarely used? Repairs require time and effort, which in our world means slaves, often in great numbers. For you, it may be a simple request, but that can quickly become another's difficult burden. Nobody gains anything without someone expending effort.
And you know, somehow that someone always ends up being a Dahnan, while the Renans are the ones who gain.
True enough. Ideally, in a perfect world, I think it's only fair that the ones who need it should be the ones to perform the work.
However, when doing so could be dangerous like it is here, there are many who would prefer that it be others who risk their lives in their stead.
So, what you're saying is that people will just put up with the inconvenience until someone else comes along to fix it for them?
Indeed. And it is those who can no longer bear that feeling that inevitably take action. Much like the Dahnans in our group do so now. As strange as it may be to hear such a thing from the likes of myself.
It's true that most of the Dahnans in Calaglia have been resigned to just accepting things as they are. Still, we can't just blame them for...
What are you making that face for? You're not worn out already, are you?
Nah, just regretting I ever said anything in the first place.
Brace yourselves! This one's tough!
Here I come! Blood! Here's evil! Seal!
Ignite!
I'm pretty good with airborne targets.
Here I come!
We
got fire!
I've got this! Let a marksman handle it!
All yours!
This one's mine!
Demon
Now!
Fang! Chill!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
See you continue on in that vein.
Yes, my lady?
Something you wanted to say?
I can do it! Demon Fang!
I know fine weapon material when I see it.
All right.
There's nowhere to run from my heart!
When he slows down, that's our chance! Swallow Blade!
It's like trying to keep up with a wolf!
You require
Thrust! I'm on it!
Take this!
Searing Flames! Pressure Field!
Swallow Blade!
Ray Gemini Aqua!
It's over!
Now or never!
Morphin
No
Starfire! Gemini Aqua!
Now I'm in the groove!
Thrust!
Now we're
Wind
never!
Astral!
Can't get out of this!
Swallow Blade!
Lightning Orb!
Thrust!
Now we're never!
Strike!
Talented Hurricane! You freaking done it!
Thrust! Swallow Blade!
In a bind?
Raging
Blow
Storm!
away!
Blow away!
Searing Tempest! And Nephthys Will!
Eat this!
Try harder!
I'll end you!
Hear me! Remus Fury! Burning
Blow away!
Water!
Feel my call! Do it! Swallow Blade! Look sharp!
Lightning Tiger Blade!
See that? That training's paying off!
Here I go!
Blow away!
Raging
Burning Blast! Blow away!
Blow them away!
Got some interesting moves there, Dohalim. I'm glad you're on our side.
I'm simply glad to hear that I can make myself useful to you all. Huh?
What's wrong?
We seem to have come across some rather unusual objects.
What, you mean that pile of garbage?
No mere garbage, I assure you. Still, I've never seen anything shaped like it before. I'm intrigued.
Are you curious about this stuff, Rinwell?
Yeah. I think he might have found some old Dahnan relics. They look like the remains of a bunch of objects that disappeared after the Renans first invaded.
And yet here I am, holding them without so much as a second thought. I imagine the sight must be unsettling to you.
Not really, just that it must be nice to be a Renan who has time to indulge in stuff like that, unlike the rest of us.
Are you interested in this stuff too, Dohalim?
Charmed may be a better turn of phrase. I simply love objects that can give me a sense of what their maker was thinking, the history that went into their creation. You see, we Renans have hardly any such objects that trace back to our distant past.
I still don't understand what you two find so intriguing about it, though.
Why not? We're talking about our own culture here.
I get that, but it's not like this stuff is any use now, does it? It's just old. Real old.
Oh, but it does. Holding it in your hands like this, one can feel and engage with the distant past in a way no history book can ever accomplish.
I'll take your word for it. Well, seeing as it's Dahnan history, just make sure you're careful with it. All right, Dohalim?
But of course. There's history in the air here. I can smell it.
I don't smell anything.
Don't encourage him.
It was a close thing. Visibility along this path will remain limited for some time. Take care not to get ambushed.
I'm surprised you know the terrain here so well. Lords don't strike me as having much time for wandering in the woods.
Sometimes I would take strolls along here when I wished to be alone.
You always did have a bad habit of disappearing without telling any of us guardsmen.
Don't get careless!
Don't tell me!
Dragon Swarm!
Freeze Lancer!
Swallow Blade!
Airborne Beast! My spec!
It's over!
Flying spree! Why can't they just sit still?
Sion, can you take care of them?
No sooner said than done!
I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw!
Swallow Blade!
I'm on strike!
Well, we're on the home stretch now.
Don't take your eyes off the prize.
I'm quite aware without you reminding me.
Ignite!
Water, hear my
It's
call!
over! Do it! Fly!
Red!
Swallow Blade!
Looks like we got them all.
Oh man, I hope I live long enough to regret this.
Dragon Swarm! I'll take you all on! Demon Fang! Take this!
Hefty airborne scoundrels!
Sounds like a job for yours truly!
Destruction!
Leave the enemy's arch clean! The tide of
No
battle is
complaint
turned.
here! That's the power of comrades in arms!
Right. Comrades in arms.
What?
Shoot back!
Stand back! I'll trip it up!
No further!
Eat this! That's enough! I can carve
Do
through
it!
armor!
Chill!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
See you continue on in that vein.
My lady?
Something you wanted to say? What now?
I'll stop your movement!
And I'll stop your life! I'm even stronger than before.
It's so hilly around here. I can feel my feet getting blisters.
That's mountain hiking for you. It can be pretty tough if you're not used to these sorts of trails.
Gone!
Strike!
Hey, when did I get so popular?
Swallow Blade! Take this! It's over!
One goal is a duel of the eye.
Ready?
Dance in the wind.
Take this!
Feel.
Here I come!
Annihilate there with the others.
An astral art?
That's my cue.
Ready? Flash!
Shut him down!
I'm on!
Where are you going?
We did it!
These little ones are hardly worth our time.
Let's talk in more public.
Cut them apart to your heart's content.
Flew away!
Here's Freeze Lancer!
Swallow! Here I come! Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade!
I can feel my precision improving.
Oh man, I hope I live long enough to regret this.
It's over! Dragon Fist was all mine!
Feel! Get on in there with the others!
Sonic Thrust! Burn!
Magic advance!
Sonic Thrust! Pierce through! Sonic Thrust! You're mine!
Lightning cascade! Now!
Slash!
Lightning! Dance!
The enemy wields arms too.
You'll soon see about that!
Swallow Blade!
Bullseye, Sion! Nice!
Get out of my sight, Minor, you'll get hit!
Oops, right, sorry.
Mine! Swallow
Do
Blade!
it! Sion! Get toasty!
Bird strike!
I still got a ways to go! No choice! Swallow
You got
Blade!
company!
Ready!
Dearest Flame! I never miss!
to mess with me!
No further! This one's all mine! You picked the wrong fight!
Healing circle!
Do they not teach you to say thank you, Indiana? Not to offend?
I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw! Swallow dance!
Not on my watch! Freeze Lancer!
Blow away!
Dance in the wind! Here I go!
Blow away! Swallow blade!
Run across field!
Dragon shell! Blow away! Raining swallow blade!
Lightning orb!
Anything in order!
We've turned the tables on them.
Here I go!
Someone look sharp! Lightning tiger blade!
I feel stronger. I mean, a bit.
Good. We're counting on you, Rinwell.
On me? Well, I'll do my best.
This looks nice and tough.
More Danon ruins here too, I see.
What were people even thinking back then? Trying to build anything around here.
Maybe they just had that much time and energy on their hands.
Can't get out of this!
It's on!
Talon Hurricane!
Burn!
Now!
We're cleaning house!
Let me take the rest of them!
Someone's feeling lively.
Do it!
Law! Get toasty!
Burn strike!
Right, next one!
Already on!
Dragon swarm! Swallow blade!
Wind astral energy!
Where are you going?
Photon raging cascade!
Blow away!
Wish they were all that easy.
Yeah, I think we might be getting too strong.
Isn't that good?
Play along, would you?
I sure have built up a sweat with this hike.
No holding back!
This'll be a piece of cake!
Annihilation! Mega ray!
Swallow blade!
They got me flanked!
It's over!
Blow
away! First strike! This one's all mine! Crush! I'm not done! Burn in hell!
Lightning orb! Not my watch!
You're mine!
Light astral energy! Now!
We're cleaning house!
Let me take the rest of them!
Wow, someone's feeling lively!
They're thinning them out! Please? More like me.
I'll admit I'm impressed. Very slightly.
I'll smash you! Nothing gets by me on a roll
Blow
now!
away! Swallow blade!
If it's in the sky, it's
Here I
mine!
go!
It's the wind! Mega
It's over!
Do it!
Do it! In an instant! Impact block!
Everyone hanging in there?
We seem to have come across something a little unusual.
What's this thing?
Oh man, I hope I live long enough to regret this.
This one's all mine!
Glacial Spear!
Air thrust! Freeze laser!
Destruction! Crush! Destruction!
Dance in the wind! Air thrust!
Denied!
Mega ray! Annihilation!
You picked the wrong
Mega
fight!
ray! Dance in the
Swallow
wind!
blade!
Sealed!
We are freaking invincible!
Alvin and the others truly are strong.
Come
What
and
about
face
me?
Who wants to die next?
You're mine! Swallow blade! Slice!
Mega
You're
ray!
finished!
Now
Swallow
hit the
blade!
glue!
Mega ray! Let's go!
Swallow blade! Look sharp! Lightning tiger blade!
How's that for a kick? I'm getting better, right?
Quite. I'll be relying on your fancy footwork.
Does fancy footwork mean running away like a chicken?
No!
Still thinking about how to act around Dohalim?
That obvious, huh? Except I don't think I'll be changing much after all. Don't get me wrong, I'm not going to stay his servant. However, I am going to treat him like a fellow comrade, the same way I would with you or anyone else. For as long as I can remember, I've spent my life protecting others. But isn't that what friends do too? Support and protect one another in times of need?
Which in the end pretty much means doing as you've always done, right? If that's what you're most comfortable with, I'm certainly not going to give you any grief over it.
Actually, I've been thinking about how I ought to act around you all as well.
Oh?
When I set out on this journey, it was to rid Eldam and Sia of its enemies and search for wisdom in the outside world. Wisdom that I could potentially put to use on my return. I'm grateful to you all for letting me tag along. But it got me thinking, what am I actually contributing by being here?
What are you talking about? You know how to hold a weapon, don't you? That's help enough.
Is it though? Sometimes I wish there was more I could be doing to pull my...
Oops, sorry about that. Jeez, I'm famished.
Now that you mention it, what do you guys normally do for food and meals when you're out and about on your travels?
What do you mean, what do we do? We find stuff to eat and eat it. So long as it's meat, I'm not fussy.
Eating what you like can be good for morale in the short term, but you need to think about your diet if you want to stay healthy.
Does that mean eating vegetables too?
Isn't that obvious?
It does, which I guess hasn't been happening up till now.
Yeah, to be honest, we could be eating better than we do.
Understood. In that case, I'll just have to make sure you're all staying healthy and eating right myself. Fortunately, I happen to know a thing or two about cooking as well.
You hear that, Law? Sounds like you'll be eating your greens after all.
What is it?
No, sorry, it's just... I was just wondering if you had any thoughts on all this.
It will do her good to have a project.
No, not Kisara. I meant you. Was there anything you wanted to add?
Me? Certainly you're not looking to me for culinary skill, I hope.
Typical Renan, leaving everything to someone else.
Rinwell, I don't think...
That said, should you need my skills on the battlefield, please rest assured I have no intention of shirking my responsibilities, regardless of who we may face.
I'm sure no one doubts that. Listen, guys, if we're traveling together, we should probably at least try to make an effort to get to know one another, don't you think?
I wouldn't get your expectations too high in that regard. Believe it or not, sometimes I'm not sure I even know myself all that well.